Boxing Day Rugby. That's not really a thing here in New Zealand, as I sit here literally on Boxing Day, as the sun is pouring in and it's making me want to fall asleep. Boxing Day cricket is a thing over here. But fortunately, up in the Northern Hemisphere, it is winter. You get Boxing Day Rugby. I much prefer the sound of that. The game I have chosen to have a look at this weekend is Harlequins and Bristol. Now, it is on at about 3 in the morning, so I'm likely going to get up and watch it delayed, but I'm pretty confident I can avoid all spoilers. I have noticed, we should notice, I've got a Bristol. I haven't got the Bristol jersey yet, but I at least got myself the Bristol logo made up, so we're getting there. I do like watching Bristol. There's just something exciting about the squad. I watched them last week in that game against Connacht in the Champions Cup. That went a bit better than it did for Harlequins in their Champions Cup game. But yeah, in the Premiership, both these sides played 3 games, 2 wins and a loss. I think these guys lost to Wasps, and these guys, Harlequins, lost to Exeter. So yeah, they're both right up there early on. But I mean, 3 games into the season, it's not a lot to be reading into things. The Bristol guys in Europe have been doing a bit better. They're 1 from 2. They beat Connacht the other day. They lost to Claremont the week before, I think it was. And Quins, they went none from 2. So, and they got a proper hiding. What was it? I wrote it down. Bristol beat Connacht 27-18 in Galway, which is not easy. And yeah, over in France, Harlequins lost 49-7. So yeah, not one that one Harlequins fan mentioned. I'm glad you didn't do a video on that game. Yeah, it seems like it was a pretty one-sided affair. But yeah, let's hope this one's a pretty close one. We'll see how things go. In terms of the Quins lineup, these guys are at home. They've made a few changes. Els gets a start. Loosehead, Baldwin, and Lowe continue on 2 and 3. Lamb gets a start as well in the second row alongside Young. Chisholm gets a start. That's James, Will Evans, and Alex Dombrandt make out the rest of the back 3. Dombrandt is captain. And he's still on my player to watch for potential England duties list, but with Billy Vunipola there keeping him and Sam Simmons out of the squad, that just kind of remains what it is. But I like watching Dombrandt. He's a fun player. Danny Kerr, Marcus Smith is a pretty exciting 19 combo. Marcus Smith is another one that is always a fun guy to watch, but can't get an England cap to save his life. Tapuai and James Lang are the midfield. Tapuai gets a start, same as last week, but Lang is up from the bench. There's Ross Chisholm, Lewis Liner on the wings, and Mike Brown continues at fullback. I think Chisholm and Liner have both come into the squad from outside of the 23 last week. Lorde is down to the bench. Tyrone Green is back in on the bench. Always pleasing to see some of those Super Rugby guys keeping on with things. I guess Green's covering the outside backs. Landajo is there, Garcia Bota. So, yeah, plenty of Super Rugby names to keep me familiar with what's going on in the squad. Speaking of Super Rugby names, there's a few of them in the Bristol lineup. But, you know, some of those kind of traditional, well, at least for me, they're old hands at Bristol. Anyway, Thomas gets a start at loosehead, so they've both changed their looseheads. Capon gets a start up from the bench at hooker, and Alfoa, speaking of Super Rugby, gets the nod at tight head up from the bench. Atwood and Holmes are the locks. They continue on. Luatu is still captain at 6, former Bluesman, of course. Daniel Thomas, that is, at 7. Daniel. And the big man, Nathan Hughes, is there at number 8. So Nathan Hughes up against Alex Dombrandt is a pretty fun one. And I guess maybe that's why Billy V always gets the nod with England, because there's just so many bloody good loosies in England, man. Nathan Hughes is a proper unit. Dombrandt, Sam Simmons. I'm sure there's more. There's more throughout England. But anyway, Randall and Sheedy's the 19 combo. Speaking of excitement, Piers O'Connor shifts from 13 to 12, and he was like man of the match in that Connacht game, but he gives his 13 jersey to Semi Radradra. No complaints there, man. The guy's one of, I think Wales Online ranked him the best player in the world. Johan Lloyd's left wing. Naulago is on the right wing. I saw him play last week for the first time. And Max Mellons continues on at fullback. Alapati Leo is on the bench. Urin's there. Lahif, Warmore. So, yeah. Hopefully it's an exciting one, man. Like, since Christmas, it'll be the first game that I've watched. Hopefully it's a bit of a belated Christmas present for me. I should have mentioned there's no Marla, there's no Ashton, there's no Marchant. All those guys were in the squad for Harlequins last week, and likewise no Sinclair, no Siali Pietau for Bristol. So they've both kind of not huge changes, but at least rotations, which is maybe to be expected. But yeah. The bookies over here in New Zealand have got Bristol by 4 points, whereas Rugby Forecast algorithms also saying 4 points, but they're going the other way. They're going for Quins at home. So maybe this is one to put a few bucks on. Maybe not if it's going to be close. But yeah, you guys with more insights into both of these teams, do let me know. Anybody else I should be looking out for. Hopefully the more I get to see of the Premiership, the more these guys will become kind of second nature to me. It's a bit easier that there's a few England internationals, there's a few guys who've been there or thereabouts, and a few Super Rugby guys to make things out. So it doesn't take quite as long to get familiar with everybody. But yeah, it's good fun. All right, guys, you let me know your thoughts on how you think this one is going to go. Merry Christmas again, Boxing Day, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.